last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. She is a visionary speaker, emotional strategies, and the creator of a total emotional performance. No other than Miss Tricia Perrido.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to Book 101, Miss Tricia. And can you please introduce more about yourself?
Oh, more about me. Wow. You know, honestly, there's just a time for me, without going into all the nitty gritty of how I got here, right? But there's a time for me when I looked, incredibly successful on
Mm-hmm.
paper, right?
Yes,
But
yes.
emotionally, like I was imploding. I was overcommitted, under supported, and buried under the pressure of being the strong one, right? and
Yes.
and so that experience, or those experiences that I had in that probably a 5 year period, before I woke up, is why I created total emotional performance. And it was because I realized, you know what, I wasn't broken. I was just functioning inside a system that rewarded survival, not sustainability. And so I was like, hey, if I want to keep showing up big in life, I can't I can't keep outsourcing my peace to these whitewashed shallow coping strategies. I needed real, true, authentic emotional mastery that was going to serve me. So I built it. And now I keep it.
Indeed, Miss Tracy, Tricia, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge to the world. And let's talk about high functioning but falling apart. The truth about emotional chaos in leaders. Can you tell us about this?
Well, the chaos in leaders, what I notice, what I see every day, is because nobody is teaching us how to succeed without self-sacrifice, right? Like leaders,
Yes.
as leaders, we're trained to push through, never to process through. And that emotional chaos, so it doesn't look dramatic in high functioning people. It looks like insomnia. It looks like overthinking. It looks like quiet burnout, and a slow disconnection from joy. And the cost for these high functioning leaders ultimately becomes their health, it's their relationships, right? Marriages are crumbling every day. Your ability to lead people from a state of authenticity, and it's because of, the culture that we've created, the hustle, push through, fake it till you make it, go viral, etc.
Yes. Why do you think emotional chaos is common among high achieving leaders?
Mm. Well, I think it's, mostly because they don't stop and ask, how can I fix this? And they don't start asking themselves, what is the what is this feeling that I'm having trying to tell me? So when emotional agility starts with awareness, right? Like, so when we allow ourselves to become aware of what those feelings are, we can start to, hmm, make those wise changes and shifts so that we can remain high functioning, right? We're still high functioning, we're still leading, and we're leading by that example of, hey, I can handle whatever comes my way without being irritated, agitated, annoyed, frustrated, bothered, right? Everybody's had that boss that, you feel their vibration when they come in because they've had, they're in a bad mood. and so everybody's walking on eggshells around them. I think that, a lot of it is, we're not taught to sit in and move through our emotions. We're not taught to acknowledge them. We're not taught to give them respect. We're not taught to understand what our cognitive body, our emotional body, and our physical body is telling us. It's push through, push through, push through.
What are the some signs that a leader is functioning well externally but struggling internally?
Mm, there's a lot of those. So, one of my favorite things to highlight for people is future tripping, right? So,
Yes.
that's when you're, at point A and you're hyper focused on Z and getting there, and it's all that, what if, the anxiety inducing uncertainties of everything that comes in between, instead of just focusing on being at point A. And then when you finish that, going to B, making tweaks and adjustments along the way and enjoying the actual journey instead of being hyper focused on getting from A to Z, um, and doing it in the most rapid fashion possible. I think people would love to just skip, from A to Z and never have to do the B through Y. So that quick reward, that instant gratification, that overnight success, right? Like, I think people covet that. Sorry, my dog is digging around back here.
No worries. No
He
worries.
was very upset at me when I closed him out. So, I think uh, everybody's got that need for the influencer. So if we have future tripping happening, if there's that anxiety about the future, the what if this doesn't work, what if it fails, what if they don't come, what if they don't like me, that's one big indicator. The other one is the avoidance, right? Those folks, and you all are going to know what I'm talking about when you hear me, right? You're sitting there and you've got the busy work going on all day, but you're not doing the things that are actually going to move the needle, and you're kind of in this depressive state. I didn't say depression, just a depressive state where it's like, oh, nobody's coming, and it's because you're waiting for things to fall in your lap, but you don't want to admit that that's what you're actually doing because you're in avoidance, of doing uncomfortable things. And
Indeed.
yeah.
So, what are the biggest myth people believe about successful leaders and emotional strength?
mm, that they can manifest it without action, right? So
True.
there we are again with the action. I hear, people say all the time, like, I'm manifesting. I'm like, well, manifesting is an action word, right? Like, what are the actions you're actually doing? You can't just sit still on the couch and meditate about things and actually think that they're going to happen. And I'm not trying to rub anybody's spirituality the wrong way, because believe me, I meditate and I manifest and I do the things, but I also do the actions that are required to make things come to fruition. Right?
Yes, true. So, Miss Tricia, as a visionary speaker and emotional strategist, how do you assess as a leader?
I'm sorry, say that last part again.
How did you assess yourself as a leader?
Mm, you know what? If I was to assess myself, I lead by example, but I don't lead from a space of control in any way, shape, or form. I lead as a teacher, as a guide, um, and as somebody who believes that each individual being is unique, and they just need to learn how to explore their own uniqueness. So I, definitely I'm not cookie cutter as a leader.
Congratulations for that, Miss Tricia. I'm gonna give you an applause for that. Being a leader by you. So, what will be your short-term and long-term goals as a as your
Sure.
profession?
Well, okay. So my short term, I think my short term aspiration. I don't operate in a world where goals are a thing, and that's just a personal choice of mine. I find goals to be very rigid. They're hit or miss, right? Like if you don't make the game winning basket, you lose the game for the whole team. So I have aspirations. They're more bendable, flexible, pliable. Um, but my short term aspirations is to really bring as many people as I can into my space that is total emotional performance. It's an app where right now, as we speak here today, we are um, developing the desktop version of that. So for folks that don't want an app, but it's a space where people can come, and it's not all about like how much money you're going to pay me, right? It's about coming to hear the words, to get the tools, to learn practical application. So it's just to get that out there, because I think it's really a unique space and a wonderful way for people to actually do some self improvement outside of reading a book and trying to fit their life into somebody else's method or modality. In total emotional performance, I'm teaching you how to take methods and modalities and incorporate them into your life to serve you. So that's my short term aspiration. Long term aspiration, I would say, is to I'd like to write a book someday that could really inspire the avid reader, and um, teach them how to use all the other self-help books that they've been reading, right? Like I think
Yes.
it's important, because if we don't know how to read Mel Robbins' book, Let Them, and apply it to our life in the unique way we need it, like it's going to fall short. We're going to fall short. And so I want to bring everybody those skills. Anyway.
Good luck to your goals, Miss Tricia, and looking forward for more success and for that app that empower people all over the world. And what will be your advice for those people out there who want to be the leader in their own expertise?
Oh, I'm gonna lean into part of your purpose here, which is to talk about books, right? Um,
Yes.
I'm going to say, what? There's a first step. Sure, I'd love for you to come join me on the Total Emotional Performance app, or the desktop version. But what I would like to say is, for anybody that's really looking for some change, get Who Moved My Cheese. Read it with intention and purpose. It's the easiest, shortest read that can really impact your life. Um,
Yes.
I mean, I don't even have to pick it up and read it anymore, because I just go, "Oh, who moved my cheese?" But you know, it
Who moved my cheese?
it yes,
Truly.
it's a really amazing book. If you allow it to, it will help you change your life.
Thank you for your recommendation, Miss Tricia. So, how do you differentiate between burnout and a deeper emotional chaos?
Oh, well, the deeper emotional chaos is attached to other things, right? People whitewash words. They expand the meaning. Burnout is like, I'm tired of this, I'm tired of that, I'm tired of doing all of that busy work. But the deeper emotional chaos stems from eh, you know internal conversations, right? Internal things that have happened, and usually it's a sentence or a phrase that you adopted from somebody else, your perception or your perspective from somebody else, that you've manipulated and held on to your whole life, and it attaches to other things. And I do a lot of work with folks on this every day. And so we want to do is look at how do we release that deeper emotional chaos that we didn't know we were holding on to, right? We don't need to hold it all together anymore. We just need the right tools to lead without losing ourselves. And so we want to upgrade our emotional operating system so that we can stop silently drowning in our own internal pressure to perform.
Miss Tricia, can therapy or coaching truly help a leader who feels they are barely holding it together?
100%. And I'm going to give you this tip because it's really important. And I'll start with the funny, right? Like I know I'm an acquired taste. I'm not the coach for everybody. Um, I can, some people are like, "Whoa, you're too much, lady," right? But here's the thing. When you are looking for a therapist, a counselor, a psychologist, a coach, right? Like I have 15 different credentials. I have a degree in psych, but I prefer the coaching modality because it's forward moving. So, what I want you guys to do is I want you to be interviewing that practitioner, not just seeking to book an appointment because their bio says they address everything that you think is your problem. You want to be interviewing them, to make sure that you're speaking the same language. And the other thing is this, because I'm pretty passionate about this as a credentialed case manager, right? Like if you came to me and you weren't a good fit, right? If our energy wasn't in alignment, if I didn't think that my programs or my services or products were going to serve your need, I'm not going to allow you to buy or to pay. I think you want to look at that. You want to ask the right questions, like how is it you see that your style, your method, your modality will serve me? So ask them questions because some people, and I hate to say this, there are some people in my industry that will take anybody that comes. And if they succeed, yay. If they don't, then they blame the client for not doing the work. And so it's really, it's a relationship, right? So choose wisely. And if you need help, I'm happy to help you. Even if you come to me and say, like, hey, I think like I'm not looking for what you have, but could you help me, right? Like narrow down my list of people that could. I'm happy to teach you how to find the practitioner that's actually going to serve you.
What's your take on the idea that emotional chaos can sometimes fuel high performance?
Say that one more time.
What is your take on the idea that emotional chaos can sometimes fuel high performance?
Oh, okay. So if the emotional chaos is positively energized,
Yes.
right? So we're super excited. We've got all these fires in, we've got me today, right? Like doing a podcast. I just got off of a great networking and I'm moving straight into teaching what ifs, control freakouts, and coping crashes, right? Like, so boom, boom, boom. Like I'm
Yes.
emotionally energized, but there it is a little chaotic in here right now, keeping it right. Like, so that can actually lead to it. So it is is the chaos positive chaos or is it negatively charged? And so we have to be able to differentiate between that. And I think a good reference to look at that is, we can talk about anxiety, but sometimes if we say ask ourselves, am I anxious or am I in anticipation? And so we can let go of a lot of anxiety just by figuring out, like, ooh, no, I'm just sitting in a state of positive anticipation for something great that's coming up. The other thing is knowing how to categorize your stressors, or your stress. So we have new stress, we have use stress, and we have distress, and they're all different. So when you can cognitively, emotionally say, hey, what's this stress that I'm feeling inside of my physical body, and categorize it appropriately, we can dissipate a lot of that chaos.
Totally agree with you, Miss Teresa. And how can leaders begin to rebuild emotional resilience after period of breakdown?
Ooh, one step at a time, right? Like I just always want to suggest to people that you give yourself grace and have patience and take it one step at a time, and be one mindful right here right now in this moment going forward. What do I need? How do I want to see myself experiencing living? How do I want to experience my environments? And how do I want to be received within those environments? Um, there's there's not one set starting point, if I'm being quite honest. But there are some assessment measures that you can take, that will that are always good to start with, so that you can figure out your own strategy, because again, you're a unique being. So if you find yourself ready to come out of a crash period or burnout or whatever it is, coin phrase you want to assign to it, right? Like there's always a great thing to do. I have on my free part of on the free version of my app, we have a coping audit, we have a habit audit, we have an emotional agility quiz, and we're adding more all the time. But this is a great way for you to say, okay, where am I at right here, right now in this moment? How do I want to proceed?
Miss Trisha, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, people, fifth season, and my abstract poetry is in second season. Book 101 review in fifth season, and comedy 101 in second season, food 101 in its fifth season too. Geography 101 and Love Letters are in third season. My Mental Health 101 is my baby podcast, and Movie 101 review, as well as my Music 101 in its fourth season, and Sex 101 and Science 101 in its first season. Please do listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Miss Tricia, what message would you share with leaders silently battling emotional chaos right now?
Hmm. You know what, I would just want to, share, with everybody that there is a better way. Um, Life have to look like overthinking, overwhelm. It can You can walk out of your office every day with a smile on your face and a skip in your step. You can separate your personal life from your professional life, and you can do it without feeling like you're drowning. Um, you just haven't found your formula for you yet, and sometimes we just need a little guidance on how to create that.
Miss Tricia Perito, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge to the world. Rewire your mind, master emotional agility, live for yourself fully and freely. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your business itself? Miss Tricia, I think Miss Tricia is disconnected or something. Well, people, let's support Mr. Tricia Perito, because if you support her, more and more and more empowering coaching to come. So, Miss Tricia, thank you so much for your time.